Hey, Scott Beckford here. From June 18th to 26th, we're hosting a series of BRICS regional meetups in 15 cities across the country. And I'd love to invite you to join us. If you're a listener to this podcast, if you're a mortgage broker, enjoys connecting with others, sharing ideas, having honest conversations, what's working in today's market, these events are for you. They're completely free. Or maybe you're just curious about becoming a mortgage broker. What I'd encourage you to do is go check out brxmeetups.com. There's a sign up page there. Tell them you heard about it from the podcast. There is no pitch. This is just meeting some great people. We would love to have you out to those. And we've been doing these now for the last couple of years. And we decided, you know what? There's lots of great mortgage people that we know. And I know lots of people at different mortgage companies. I thought this would be a great way for us to connect in our local community. So if you're interested, check out brxmeetups.com. And I hope that we see you at one of them. My guest will tell you flat out that he is not a great salesman. You know, he says he's too shy to talk to girls in high school, but then got into selling cars. And I just love Brett, his energy, his willingness to just put himself out there. And he's not attached to outcomes, which a lot of people are. And in this episode, it's actually from a coaching call that we did. So we do production-based masterminds, and he was just sharing how he got into a real estate office, now one of the biggest real estate offices in his town. And it was a combination of going to an open house and doing a 4-slide presentation. And as a side note, he never uses the word presentation and he doesn't use the word follow-up. And I think it's a very tactical conversation that I have with him. There's one little side note to be aware of in this episode. There are some pings that you can hear. It's a little bit annoying. We're going to figure out how to remove them. Hopefully you can get through it because the story is so good and he's very articulate. So I think you're still going to enjoy it. We're going to, on future times that we do this type of thing where we take a clip from one of our coaching calls, we will figure out how to remove those pings. But in any case, it's absolutely worth it. Have a listen. I'd love you to get your feedback on it. I'll start it right now.
I'm Brett, and I'm a fellow rookie mortgage agent and also a real estate investor. To be honest, when I started in sales, I wasn't really the best salesperson, and I really still don't think I'm some great salesman by any means. But there's one thing I do that's given me a lifestyle I didn't know I would ever achieve at my age. I grew up as a really shy kid. I threw myself into sales when I was 17, selling cars. Figured what could go wrong. I couldn't even talk to girls in high school, and now I'm just gonna start selling cars. I just wanted to make money for my hobbies like jet skiing, concerts, traveling, all that fun stuff. There were salespeople that were more confident, better on the phone, better in person, that had more product knowledge. They were better closers. But what I noticed is a lot of them would talk to somebody once and they never really follow up. They just trust and move on to the next. So I just decided I'm going to be the guy who doesn't disappear. And that alone started making me more money than a lot of the salespeople who were better than me. Why was I asked to speak at this real estate office and show them this presentation? Well, a while ago, I stopped by some open houses with feature sheets and some open house survival kits, just stuff I bought from the dollar store. Really didn't cost me that much. I could have just stopped there and went home thinking like, man, I hope these realtors thought that was cool and decided to reach out and work with me. What I did was I called each of them Monday morning to find out how the rest of the open houses went. I wasn't calling and saying, hey, did you get any leads for me over the weekend? I was just staying in touch and trying to be of service in a way that was relevant. It's all about leading with something of value and not expecting anything in return. I honestly don't really get attached to any outcome. And maybe that's why I don't really come across as pushy. So this actually got back to the owner of this large Royal Foods office who asked to meet me for coffee. I had a chat with her and the realtor that put in.
Quick question. How many open houses did you hit? And how many people did you follow up with after the open houses?
5, and I followed up with every single one of them.
At 5 different open houses?
Yep.
Were they all the same company?
3 of them were, because this is a really big office. They honestly probably do most of the business in this city from what I can see. It's a huge office in a relatively small city.
Okay, so carry on.
Yeah, it was really just about, staying in touch with everybody. And I guess this broker owner thought that was really cool. She asked to meet for coffee. And at the end of our meeting, she offered me a job as a realtor, which I politely declined. She asked me to come in and present to her realtors about following up. So this was like totally out of my comfort level, but how am I going to say no to getting in front of that many realtors at once? Let's talk about the reality of leads in our industry. I remember when I first started shopping for properties, it was a pretty long and drawn out process because it was all new to me and there was a lot of uncertainty on my end. We aren't selling cell phones, we're selling $400,000 plus mortgages, right? So to me, the agent who follows up well is who wins in the end. And I like to think there's 2 equally important parts to this. There's following up with prospects who haven't made a move yet, and then also staying in touch with past clients. Let's state the obvious. What happens when you don't do a good job following up? Well, you lose out on deals, miss out on referrals, struggle to retain clients for future business, And you're really just wasting your marketing money if you're spending money on doing this stuff and then not staying on top of it. So what actually makes good follow-up? Well, it's consistent. Are you setting reminders, or are you just trying to keep track of everything in your head? At one point, that was my system, and trust me, it does not work very well. It should be multi-channel. My old mortgage broker, before I was in the business, would never do anything but email. He never called me. He never answered the phone if I called him. And I think there's absolutely something to be said about having all important file-related communication in one place. But I also believe in following up and selling our clients how they want to be sold. So sprinkle in like texting, emailing, social media, figure out how they like to communicate best, and just sort of lean into that. So whether following up before or after closing, just try to make it personalized and not like, hey, just checking in. Because I promise if you take 2 minutes before making a call, you can think of something relevant and interesting to phone them about. And don't sound like a salesperson, because you can smell commission breath through the phone. But how do you stop sounding like a salesperson? Well, I try not to use the words follow up in my follow up. And I'm guilty of doing it anyway sometimes, but I do try to catch myself. It's really not our fault. It's just sort of the first thing that comes to mind when we're doing it, because that is what we're doing. And this applies for following up with prospects, with past clients. Just jump right into what you're calling about, either with something of value or new idea, or you could just say something like, hey, Bob, Brett here. Hope things are good. We spoke a while back and got that pre-approval in place for you so you could buy a cottage. Did you stop looking, or what ended up happening with that? That's going to lower their guard a bit, because you don't sound like every other salesman who's ever called them. Like, think back to the last person that called you and said, hey, it's Jim from ABC company, just following up on. You probably felt like finding a way to get off the phone.
Mm-hmm. Don't use the F word.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the rule. Never say the F word on one of these calls, which is follow up.
Jump right into it. Where do we usually go wrong in our industry? Well, we stop following up after a while, because it is a bit of a pain in the ass to do manually if we're not setting reminders. We only reach out if we need something, and we aren't using the systems we have in place as effectively as we can. Maybe we don't even have much of a system at all. I really like this quote here on the side from James Clear, because I used to think that to become successful, I just needed to set big goals and work really hard, which is true to an extent, but without slowing down for a minute and putting certain processes and systems in place, you'll just end up with things slipping through the cracks. Like, is your CRM set up to function at its full potential? Is there anything you can automate while still being personal to make all this follow-up easier? Those are the kinds of questions you should ask yourself from time to time. And a lot of you probably think that this is really basic stuff, but here's an interesting stat from the NAR. 88% of people said in a survey that they would use their real estate agent again to buy or sell their next property, yet only 12% do. Now, this stat is from the US and for realtors, but I would have to think that the stats for us mortgage brokers must be similar. So remember that following up with your prospect will help you get that deal, but staying relevant with them for years down the road is how we're going to build repeat and referral business. Not just staying in touch, but actually staying relevant. So I went to these open houses, dropped them off, went to 5. I could tell about 2 of them just kind of wanted me to piss off, but who cares, because the other 3 went really well. I wasn't pushy. I didn't stay for long. I just stopped by and said, hey, I'm a mortgage broker in the area. I'm not here to take up a bunch of your time. I just wanted to stop by, drop off some financing feature sheets. Hope these are helpful. I've also got a little open house survival guide. Hope you like it. And then, yeah, that was really all there was to it. I wasn't lingering around. Then on Monday, I followed up with all these realtors and just asked how the rest of the open house went. Not asking for leads, just asking, basically finding any way I could to be helpful. And one of those realtors is I got the vibe that she's kind of second in command at this big Royal LePage office. Like, she's not the broker of record, but I think maybe the broker of record is going to be retiring soon and she's going to take over. But anyway, that got back to the broker of record, who then asked to meet me for coffee. That's where she jokingly maybe, offered me a job as a realtor and asked me to come in and present to her realtors about follow-up. So I threw this presentation together, practiced it a few times. I practiced it a lot, actually, because it's way out of my comfort zone, and went in, did it. And yeah, that's how I got to working from a real estate office once a week.
It's amazing. Okay, so you did this. Have you ever done a presentation like this before?
No, not since I was in grade 2 doing speeches.
Right. So guys, like, part of this is and it's gonna be uncomfortable, but it's absolutely worth doing to put yourself Anybody have any last thoughts or questions they want to ask?
Brett, did you tell the realtors when you would chit chat with them and you were trying to like book a time to like go for coffee with them or like meet with them, did you tell them ahead of time that you had a 4-slide presentation, or was that something that you kind of like, hey, I want to meet with you and show you how I can grow your business, and then you like sneak the 4-slide in while you're already there, or did you like pre-tell them about your 4-slide?
Usually I would just ask them when would be a good time to meet. I mix it up a little bit. Like for some realtors, if I felt like maybe they were a little more casual, I would just ask them to meet for coffee. And that was it. And then other realtors, I would say, I'd like to show you how I can help you grow your business. I'd love to meet whatever day and whatever time. Kind of gave them some options.
I would never use the word presentation, ever.
No.
Ever. Like,
Yeah, because I was thinking of just kind of like sliding it into the conversation once I was already there.
That's exactly what I do is I sit down with them and I'll just shoot the breeze with them for however long it seems like they want to, like kind of match their personality. If they're really chatty and want to chat for a while, whatever, chat with them for a bit. Or if they're clearly all business, maybe just chat for a few minutes. And then I like to kind of pretend like I was forgetting to show them the presentation, almost like I didn't even care to show it to them. I just wanted to meet with them. And I'll just go like, oh, before I forget, I have something I'd really like to show you.
That's the Columbo technique. One last thing. I forgot to mention this. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that on every single one. Before I forget to show you, I just really want to show you what I do to help the realtors that I work with. I think you might find it really useful. Either way, I'd love to get your feedback on it and keep everything super casual.
Yeah, that's a word you don't, just like you don't say the follow-up word, don't say the presentation word, because you can do it like Brett said, or the other way you can do it when you're meeting with them is just say, hey, look, I got something I want to share with you, because I like to just not just tell, but show, just to walk you through how I can help you. They're not going to be like, no, don't do it. You've already got the meeting. So just don't use the word presentation in any of your requests. It will kill your chances of them. I wouldn't, if you said to me, Scott, I have a presentation for you, I'm probably going to dodge you, to be honest. Hey, thanks again for listening. And, as we say, don't say the F word, follow up. The Columbo close is absolutely brilliant. And then don't ever use the word presentation, even if you're going to use a presentation, because a presentation just really creates structure around a conversation to lead it in a direction. If you find this useful, a couple quick things. One, we do these production-based masterminds every week, and I'm on them and work with our agent. Depending on what stage you're at, you're going to have different challenges and problems, but the groups are very collaborative. And if you're interested in something like that, reach out to me. I'd be definitely interested to chat with you. As I always say, there's no problem in your mortgage business someone else hasn't already solved. Your problem is trying to find some of those solutions when you need them. Podcast is designed to help you find some of those answers. Thanks for listening, and I will see you on the next episode.